did you first answer the question, what type of leader are you? When did you first answer that question? I was pedaling across Lower Michigan with my nephew, 13 years old but tall. And I said, after we had finished all the stuff that we could have talked about, I finally said, what type of leader are you? He said, I'm not a leader. I'm only 13. I said, of course you are. Of course you're a leader. And you need to start thinking about what type of leader you are, because you're going to live it. And you can change it. When I was working on my PhD, I decided I needed a break. My intellectual brain was steaming and boiling over and burning and crusting, if you can imagine that. And I said, soccer. Soccer's a great medium for breaking up that crud that starts building up on the edges of your brain when you need to let it go. So I said, sure, let's play soccer. So I had a bunch of us say, yeah, we're interested. And I'm like, oh, I'm a leader. We're gonna play soccer. We're just gonna have a good old time. So I became team captain. Because I'm a leader. And after the first game, which was a lot of fun, but we lost, I was like, okay guys, we're gonna practice this week. Nobody showed. I said, okay, that's okay. Just take what you learned last week and apply it to the next game. I became a little bit of a taskmaster. We have results, we gotta hit our results. 17 members, gotta hit 20. Okay, these are things that are important. I didn't want to just play soccer and get the crust out of my brain. I wanted to win. Not that you could ever tell, but I'm competitive. I wanted to win. So I said, we're gonna win. And after the second week, I said, we're gonna win, if it doesn't be second week, we're gonna do it in the third week. Well, people stopped showing up. And these were friends of mine. I worked on the PhD with them. These are people I like. But they just said, I'm too busy. I don't have time for it. I was sad, because at that point we didn't have a team anymore. And it was something I had really enjoyed. I decided then and there that I was a terrible leader. I must be a terrible leader, because they didn't want me to lead them. I went through many years thinking I was a terrible leader. When I finished my PhD program, I moved to Ontario, and I happened to run into this lady, and right now I'm not going to remember her name. Let's call her Debbie. And I said, Debbie, it's so good to meet you, and I'm really enjoying it. And she thought I was just the next, sliced bread. She thought I was awesome, and of course I loved it. So I'm like, hey, I'm with you, girlfriend. And we were just having a good old time. And we lost touch. I moved to Michigan, but she said, Carol, I'm coming to Michigan. Can we connect? And I said, sure. And so we connected. I had just moved here, and she said, let's connect. And I said, okay. We crossed paths, we went out for coffee. She had a friend with her, and she said that they were searching for a department chair at Conestoga College, which is a small college in Ontario. She was thinking of me. Most people would say, oh my God, you're amazing. What a beautiful opportunity, even at such a young age in my PhD field. And most people would have said that, but I reflected back on my soccer years, month, week, and I said, I'm a terrible leader. Debbie, you don't want me. I was sure I would not do a good job. She said, thank you. And she went on with her search. That was the last we saw each other. You know. Then I had the most terrible semester ever with the lowest teaching evaluations ever. And then I went to a party with my then boyfriend. And when you're at a party, you're trying to relax, but I'm thinking, I'm so bad. I did terrible in the classroom, I'm a terrible leader. What am I going to do with my life? And I had just moved to Michigan, and I was just like, oh, I don't know anybody. What am I going to do with my life? Have you ever been there? Have you ever thought these really negative thoughts? And maybe it's normal that at some point in our lives that we struggle with that negative thought. I was there. Now, I was with my boyfriend, so that did help. And I was at a party, so that should help. Well, at this party, 2 people said, have you tried Toastmasters? And I said, okay, I'm getting the message. I'm gonna try Toastmasters. So I tried Toastmasters that very next Tuesday. I went to my first Toastmaster meeting in London, Ontario, and I said, this is where I need to be. So when I returned back to Michigan, I searched and found a club here in Okemos, and I started becoming a Toastmaster. I started the process. They asked me to be vice president of membership because I was gregarious, and I was like, come on, join our club, it's so much fun, it's a great place to be, and welcome to our club. They thought I was a great vice president of membership. They said, please, be vice president of membership. And because I wasn't president, I said, okay. I said, okay. But I still didn't think I was a good leader. We had problems that year. We had problems with the leader. And we were making decisions on what do we do and how do we do it. And I made mistakes in that process. I learned they were bad decisions. And then I moved on. As I continued the process of Toastmasters, eventually I stepped up for president in this club. My first president experience was here in this club. I tried it. At that time, we were only at 8 members. Maybe we'd gotten up to 10. It wasn't a very large club. I said, that's got to change. This club can be phenomenal. I want it to be phenomenal. And thankfully, I had a couple people on my team that said, yeah, we agree and we want to help you make it phenomenal. I said, okay. We stepped forward with that vision to say, this is where we want to go. And with that process, we figured out with mistakes, with energy and enthusiasm, what worked, what didn't work, so that we could be successful as a group. And I learned along the process that I wasn't a terrible leader. I learned I actually had some good skills. And as I reflected on my soccer experience, I learned what I didn't do right as a soccer coach. I need to make sure that my group all has the same objectives. Are we in for fun and just playing soccer and getting the crust out of our brain? Or are we in this because we want to win? You as a leader need both. You need leadership skills that include both results and the relationships. And if you don't have both, you're going to lose your team. And you'll have some people on there who say, we're not hitting the results. Forget it, I'm out of here. And then we have some people who say, I'm not enjoying the experience. I'm out of here. You as a leader have to have both. This has been part of my journey as a leader. You will have different skills and experiences, but along this journey, you will learn what type of leader you are. In Toastmasters, we have characteristics and definitions of leadership. We say, oh, you're 25% authoritarian, and you're 25% democratic in your leadership style, and 22% cooperative and mutual agreement. All of these things come together to say, I have no clue what type of leader I am. What you do learn in the process is how you lead, why you lead, and what works and what doesn't. That's what makes a great leader. In this process, which I encourage each of you to step forward with, is be open to the feedback. Darren LaCroix has a phrase, be a sponge. Be a sponge. And with that, you will gain the wisdom of what your strengths are and what your areas of improvement could be. But even so, know that you're not a bad leader. No one is a bad leader. Each of us have skills that we can improve on, absolutely. But we also have skills that say, I'm a leader. And you have to figure out what that is. You have a leader within you. So what kind of leader are you? Mr. Toastmaster.